Hey guys, how you doing? It is me, Masood, and we're back with another social media deep dive, and today we're discussing Saucony on how they can increase their market share and become right at the top of the contenders in the sneaker industry. Let's go. So, Saucony was started in the 18th century as a sneaker brand that produced initially children's sneakers, and they didn't produce men's or women's sneakers until the early 20th century. But they started just producing women's trainers. Now, obviously, I can bore you with all the stats and statistics and everything like that. But personally, I'm going to show you my personal experience with Saucony. Saucony has always been that brand that, it's one of those ones where you kind of be like those kids in the classroom where you recognize that once every year they have a fresh pair of trainers on, they have a fresh outfit on, and you give them a nod. You be like, you know what, you aight. They're like that type of kid in the classroom. Out of 30 kids, 30 brands in the industry, or however many brands there are in this industry, Saucony's that one kid that doesn't have a problem with anyone. They don't have beef. They're kind of doing their own thing. They probably like drama. They probably like cartoons. They probably like anime. And once in a while, they have that fresh pair of trainers, fresh pair of sneakers that comes out in the year that a couple people acknowledge and give them respect for. And that's what Saucony is. Saucony's always been the outsider of the market, in my personal opinion, and I always felt that no one really used to wear Sauconys where I grew up. I'm from the UK, and it's never been a thing here in London or Slough, like just outside of London, in the outskirts of London, to wear Saucony. Saucony's never, I guarantee you, if you put that brand, that logo up to most people in London or outside of London, some kids, they probably wouldn't even know what the heck they're looking at, because that's how foreign that brand is. In fact, it's so foreign that I came about it recently. I don't know what it was. When I used to do youth work, one of my young people that I was looking after was actually wearing a Saucony trainers, and I ain't gonna lie, the trainers did look nice, but I just did not know the brand. I was very unfamiliar with the brand, and I don't think they do that much advertising in the UK. Their main market seems to be the US, where you see more pictures, see more fans, see more niche followings of the brand, and that's pretty much where I see them being more known in the space of sneakers in the US than in the UK. That doesn't goes without saying that they're completely unfamiliar with what UK has to say. I'm just saying that, they're not as big as other people. Like, for example, there are brands that are not worn as much, like New Balance, like Asics. New Balance and Asics, they are still very popular brands, but then they don't have increased die-hard communities like, for example, Nike, like, for example, Adidas, like, for example, Puma. They're still the outskirts. Like, people will still know of them and refer to them, but with Saucony, no one knows about Saucony that much, really. But personally, the reason I'm doing this deep dive is I personally think that they have a very iconic look. They have a very stylish look that can really fit well in today's current market as well. In fact, there's a new trend of chunky sneakers. I believe Balenciaga started that trend with the triple S's, and there's a new trend going around with chunky sneakers. I think they could fit really well within that trend naturally, because naturally they've never been that kind of slick, slim line. They've always had kind of a certain shape to the trainers, a certain iconic shape to the trainers that most Saucony wearers or most Saucony diehard fans would understand and be familiar with, and I think they could fit really well within that trend. But let's get to going with my strategy. Now, the goal for this strategy was going to be to allow them to be introduced into the UK market a lot more than what they are. And not even that, but not in the UK market, but just generally as a brand in itself, I feel like they are underrepresented and they're not pushing the boundaries as to what they should be in getting known. I mean, I understand it's a very, very dominated space, but I believe if they change a couple of the targeting aspects as far as a particular model is concerned, or they target a particular niche, I'm pretty sure that perception of the business will turn around dramatically as well. Listen, it happened to Champion. Champion was the most uncool brand for the longest time. I remember seeing Champion in Sports Direct, which is like a sports outlet shop, for like ridiculous prices, for like £5 a hoodie or £3 a t-shirt. It was literally very bad for Champion at one point, but all of a sudden they understood the way that they were going. They looked at market trends and they targeted niche. And the beautiful thing was, they used the favorite form of marketing was influencer marketing. They used influencer marketing to really get their way about how they were going and what the perception was then and where it is currently now. I think they used influencer marketing exceptionally in that field. In fact, I think one of the Champion representatives said influencer marketing is 11 times better return on investment than traditional marketing operations. So it goes without saying that. So let's get into the Saucony strategy. Let's just get right into it. My strategy was to target, or wait, let's partner up with 5 of the, before we partner, I was going to say they need to target a niche. How can I not spell niche? There you go. Target a niche, and I think they should create a specific shoe, or use one of the shoes in their line as the staple or poster child of that niche. Cool. So I personally think the niche that they should target are resellers. Now, whoa, why the hell would you want to target resellers? They're so disrespecting the game. People, no one likes them and everything like that. Listen, no one needs to like them. I'm not here to have a positive outlook, or I'm not here to massage people's egos. I'm here to change your businesses and get business results. And sometimes you need to do that by challenging the status quo of some industries. And I personally believe the real gatekeepers in the sneaker industry, it's not the brands personally, because the brands are not the ones that, yes, they are to an extent. They're the ones that allow the restriction of certain models to come out, to make them more limited, hence giving more demand in the system. However, if there is no sub ecosystem that allows the economy of the sneaker game to flow, then there would be no sneaker game, if that makes sense. So I would personally say they should target resellers. And why is because they should make a sneaker for sneakerheads. Resellers commonly know their sneakers. They commonly understand the game. They commonly know what is going and what is going to come in, what is going to come out. They are literally like the guys that drive that industry, that sub underground community, and build it to popularity and everything like that. Whatever they sell, people are going to buy, and some of them have built so much trust amongst their customers that whatever they have, most probably those customers are going to buy. So I personally think they should target resellers, personally, and they should have a specific shoe for the resellers to rock and promote as if it's the new Yeezy. You know, they should target resellers or or high-end customers. I think they should create a certain model, or they should pick a specific model for this industry, for these people, and tell them that, listen, this is your shoe. We are going to make this shoe yours, and whatever you guys want to see, whatever materials you want to put on the shoe, whatever story you want this shoe to come across. Listen, remember, Gary Vee is selling K-Swiss sneakers. No one buys K-Swiss sneakers. Gary Vee found a niche, a trend, or K-Swiss found a niche or trend that is potentially going to be a diehard trend of entrepreneurs that follow an influential guy, and they went with it, and it's working. You know, K-Swiss are going back in the question. People are lining up for K-Swiss sneakers, and you want the same thing for Saucony sneakers. Saucony should spot a trend in the market, whether that be resellers, whether that be something else, and they should pick 1 to 5 staple influencers, sneakers, people in the game that allow for the coolness and the drive of sales to occur, preferably resellers with big followings. So 5 of the big following sneaker resellers or reseller shops. I'm talking about the round twos. I'm talking about the UNs. I'm talking about ins. No, I don't mean ins. I'm talking about the flight clubs. You know, I'm talking about the presented buys. You know, I'm talking about these type of stores that have influence. The beauty of these stores is that they already have large social media followings, and you know what, the followings are not the key thing, but they also have large social media pull. And I don't want to use the word again, but I'm gonna have to use it, influence. I really mean influence in the truest form. They influence what people buy. They just straight up, they influence what people buy. They help people understand what is cool, what is trending, and what is hot in the market. So I think they should that should be their target market. So their target market should be the resellers. They should understand exactly where they're at, and they should partner with the 5 biggest shops, 5 biggest stores, 5 biggest individuals that drive that community. 5 to 10, like, target as many as you want, but I think the baseline for some sort of hype and interest to develop should be 5 to 10 would be a great number. So 5 to 10 of the big following sneaker resellers, the round twos, the UNs, the flight clubs, the presented buys, and that should be their target audience, resellers, the core sneaker fans. And they should create a shoe that allows them to reside with those sneaker fans, and allow them and have a Saucony shoe that is for the people, that speaks to the people, that isn't overpriced, but isn't widely available to where everyone can get them, so it still has that cool factor. but is made from premium materials and has a story behind it. That's the main thing. It should have a story. It should have the story that all resellers or all shoe people can relate to, because there are some resellers that are like the basketball shoe resellers, the high-end shoe resellers, the personal shoppers. This shoe needs to speak volumes to everyone, so every kind of little niche reseller community is interested in what Saucony has to say. Now, what that particular story is going to be, I have no clue. I'm just an idea guy. I'm just coming with ideas. But I personally feel that would be a great, interesting outlook on what strategy and a new strategy for Saucony would be going into, say, 2020, 2021 and onwards. So that's probably the strategy for the audience. And obviously with marketing is concerned, they can use these big followings to their advantage, and then they can have clauses in the contract to say you have to promote our stuff pretty much every single day. I think if the sneaker is good enough, if it looks good enough, if it's got in the right hands of the right people promoting it, then I have no understanding why. And if the story is key, I have no understanding why it just won't fly off shelves left, right, and center. It will just fly off shelves. So it has to be partnered with the right people. Has to have the right story, and if everything works, then I don't see why Saucony won't rise to the top. So if everything goes well, if they find a niche, they find their customers, they find the ideal people that are gonna buy the trainers, they find the story, they find the right people to market them, and they have not social media followings, but social media pull. You know what I'm saying? They need to have pull of the social media to grab people's attention. And what better way to target people who drive the ecosystem of the market? Listen, the big guys, the big brands that are not driving the market, you know, there's so many shoes that are winning shoes, winning models, winning lines that go out of stock because it's not being pushed enough. But the people who are like the guys who make the transactions and sell and really drive the community forward are the middlemen of the industry, which is the resellers. So get to the middlemen, give them a product that they'll like, give them something they can sell, give them exclusivity, give them everything that they can do to push this trainer and make it something out of Saucony, and you guys will be onto a winner. And that's a short understanding of what Saucony can do initially to get a little bit of buzz about them. And I would assume if they get that small buzz about them, they come out with 2 or 3 more lines of new sneakers that people will gravitate towards. They will be selling shoes like this, and they'll come back in the conversation and start challenging the big guys like New Balance, like Asics, like Puma, like Adidas, like Nike, and they'll be start looking at what Saucony's doing and be like, whoa, god damn, where is this brand coming from? And you want that reaction from the big guys to notice you guys, and that's it. That I think once they do that, they'll be able to change the brand perception in the public eye eventually in the next 2 to 3 years. If you like what you see, make sure you like, share and subscribe if you want to see more, and press the bell notification icon so you're notified whenever I have a new upload. And yes, Saucony, listen, if you're seeing this, if you want to hire your boy for some strategy, you know where to find me. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. Peace.